The truth of the matter, Fran, is that we would have paid Sugar Ray's people to have this fight here.
We've already talked to Sugar Ray's people and Mr. Hanbury, and if there are some events coming up like this in the next year or two, we are definitely going to take a shot at it, as well as the Chamber of Commerce.
Boxing today is an art, and it's a form of entertainment, and I like to give the kids and people the opportunity to see how clean boxing really is.
I think he's going to bring the fight to you.
Good. That's exactly what I want him to do. Bring it to me. I want to see how long he's staying in front of me, bringing the fight to me.
Channel 17 reports this week will examine the resurgence of championship boxing in Buffalo, a city that's had its lion's share of great fighters in the past. We'll explore the efforts that made possible this upcoming battle in the Queen City next Friday night, and we'll learn of the benefits, both image-wise and economically, this worldwide extravaganza will have on the city of good neighbors. Bringing the welterweight championship fight to Buffalo depended upon developing an attractive package, one that would draw the charismatic champ Ray Leonard here instead of one of the other top cities bidding for the fight. The local chamber and businessmen see it as an image builder and a moneymaker.
We knew that the last major fight was over 30 years ago, but we have had our experience with the Buffalo Bills and what it has meant to our image when they get on Thursday night TV or Monday night TV. We have our Talking Proud campaign going, and we felt a major fight with a person like Sugar Ray Leonard would do a similar kind of thing for our image that the Buffalo Bills have. I think there's several reasons we won out. One, we feel the Chamber of Commerce did an outstanding job of prearranging the people that Sugar Ray Leonard's people had to talk to, having early discussions with the Auditorium, the Sabres people, the Hilton Hotel, finding out what kind of package we could offer Sugar Ray Leonard, and we felt we had a terrific package that the other cities would be hard to match. We also speculated that Sugar Ray's people had a fair amount of success in the Syracuse area, that they might like to have another fight in the upstate New York area.
How many cities were in contention for this championship fight, and how did the city of Buffalo win out?
Well, there were a couple cities. Reno wanted another fight of Ray Leonard's after the success they had with Bruce Finch. St. Louis was very interested. Washington, D.C. was interested. They're always interested. I'd say those were the three leading contenders for the bout. Pretty much, Ray could pretty much go to any city, and what happens is that we sit back and we look at it and decide which city is the most appropriate or the one we feel that's right for this fight. And we selected Buffalo.
How much money do you figure the Hilton will realize from this fight crowd here?
That's really difficult to say, to put a figure on, but I would say that the hotel is going to fill up a couple nights when we wouldn't have normally filled up. And it's been of a nice economic value to us, no question about it.
Has there anything been gratis here, like rooms or suites for any of them?
Oh, yes. In fact, the 40 rooms that are occupied by Sugar Ray and the Challenger and the people that will be the undercard have all been given by us as a on a complimentary basis. We wanted to do that to help get the fight here because we thought it was that important for Buffalo, quite frankly.
Our guarantee was to guarantee 10% of the total proceeds from ringside seats. That meant that guarantee would be somewhere between 200 and 300,000, depending on what we ultimately decided on as the number of ringside seats and on the price of the ringside seats. And that's what the negotiations were all about.
We had originally come to the conclusion that Buffalo was a nice city and the kind of place where we wanted to go because we felt very comfortable in Syracuse. I met one day with Bill Hambury and Dave Smith of the Chamber and said to them, look, I don't expect you to understand the excitement that Ray Leonard generates in a town. All I want you to do is you guarantee the sale of the ringside seats, and I will give you a 10% cut. If you'll buy all the ringside seats, I'll give you 10% of that. So they made a little money. They were overwhelmed by the response. In fact, they not only sold the ringside, they sold most of the gold seats. And that was it. There was no, Ray didn't require them to put any upfront money or the rest of it. We knew they'd sell the seats. It was just kind of a personal commitment to be sure that they would be involved and help promote it and hustle it, and that's what we wanted.
The promoter of the Buffalo fight is KO Incorporated. Dan Doyle is president.
We're an independent corporation and fortunate enough to be promoting this particular fight.
You promote other fights.
The only fighter I've ever promoted has been Ray Leonard. This is my 12th Ray Leonard fight, and never been involved with any other boxer.
You've been involved in sports, and are you still involved in other sports?
Yeah, I was a college basketball coach, and I'm now coaching the Irish Olympic team in basketball in 1984, and have some other projects as well.
How did Buffalo ever win out for this fight?
Well, I give a great deal of credit to the Chamber of Commerce and people like Bill Hanbury and Pat Donlin, a number of other people who pursued the thing very aggressively and very efficiently. And I think that all of us connected with the fight recognized that Buffalo would be a good site, and I think that was helped by the fact that the Chamber really presented it as such.
Were we the low bidders, more or less?
You weren't the low bidders, no.
What kind of transformation has gone on here at the Buffalo Hilton to accommodate both fight camps?
Well, quite a bit, really. As you know, we initially set up the training center above Charlie's Lounge on the second floor. And we had so many people show up to see the practice sessions and the workouts that we had to move it to our tennis court facility, which now holds about 1,000 people. So that was a major move for us, and of course setting up the thing is something that we're not used to doing. And we've had Sugar Ray and all of his people in, and we've had to set up their suites and their rooms, as well as the Challenger that will be coming in today. And all in all, they'll be taking about 40 rooms here at the hotel, not counting, of course, the cadre of press that will be coming in within the next week or so.
What kind of security do you have?
We've really about tripled our security force, and we have 4 security people here during the day at all times. For the night of the fight, we'll probably increase that to 20, 25 people.
Have there been any problems or incidents of any kind?
Not really. The public has been very well behaved, and it's been very orderly. We haven't had any problems, so to speak, of it all. And of course, Sugar Ray's people have just been super with us, and it's been a pleasure to have them, quite frankly.
The champion set up camp first at the Hilton, while Roger Stafford arrived at midweek after training at Grossinger's. When the serious work is done, Leonard mixes with the crowd, signing autographs, posing for pictures, and paying special attention to the youngsters.
You want to demonstrate to all the people the correct way to do sit-ups, okay? What's your name? Juan. How old are you? 7 years old. Okay, now if you don't do 7 properly done sit-ups, or whack. Okay? Let's go. 1, 2, 7. All right.
What kind of facelift is the Aud undergoing to facilitate this championship fight?
Well, not a heck of a lot, Fran. ABC came in, they needed a few platforms enlarged, one right over here. It holds 1 camera now. They want to enlarge to 2 cameras. That'll be their main camera for the fight. On the northeast corner, they want another platform installed. The biggest area going to renovation is the basement. Alan Taylor, who was handling the PR for the fight and the working press, has deemed that our press lounge is inadequate. It's too small and too far away from the ring. It's up on the 2.5 level. So they chose the basement as their working press area. And our basement hasn't been used for any exhibits or anything since the convention center was erected. So it was in rather rough shape, so we had to freshen it up, paint, and some new lighting. And the promoter will install wall curtains down there, so it should be very attractive.
How do you feel the city of Buffalo will benefit from this fight?
I think it's a tremendous benefit. I've only been in this city 8 months, and I've come to love it in that short period of time. And I think it offers to people in the nation some positive press, as opposed to our snowstorms that take place in the winter. And I think it's great that people can see the kind of activity that the people in the city of Buffalo are going after. I think it's one of the best things that's happened to us in a long, long time.
Well, then, image-wise, it's a great thing. Do you feel that this fight will pump a few dollars into our economy?
Oh, no question about it. Bill Hanbury from the Convention Center estimates that well over $1 million will be pumped into the city of Buffalo just as a result of this event alone.
The chamber benefits indirectly by what this fight will do in our goal of improving the image of Buffalo. The truth of the matter, Fran, is that we would have paid Sugar Ray's people to have this fight here. It would have been worth, I don't know, $50,000, say, for us to bring that fight in, because if you had to pay for the publicity Buffalo's going to get out of this fight, it would certainly cost a lot more than $50,000. By having Sugar Ray's fight here and being able to get on TV with our Talking Proud logos when they're filming the fight, by having the sportscasters and the sports writers in here for 2, 3, 4 days, we feel that the value of that publicity, if you will, for Buffalo perhaps could be as great as what we've already spent on the Talking Proud campaign.
They tried to keep the ticket prices down because of this area. They knew it was economically deprived here, a lot of unemployment. So they wanted to hold the ticket prices down. Sugar Ray wanted to come to the Buffalo area to fight. They wanted to hold the ticket prices down. So if we demanded a piece of the gate, the ticket price would have had to gone up, you know. Would have had to raise the ticket price.
It's still a little high. Oh, well, ringside what?
Well, the ringside, I guess, is not high. When we contracted this fight, we got calls from Cleveland, Canada, New Jersey. I told them the ticket prices would be $100. They said, that's cheap. In Houston, they were talking about getting $300 for ringside if the fight went there.
Now, the total gate, I understand, with television is something like $20 million. There's no way that the city can get a piece of that television money, is there?
No, I don't think so, no.
You don't know
I doubt it,
whether
no.
they do in other cities?
I think we'll be getting the publicity just from the fight. I think it'll be worth $10 million.
It's going to be on worldwide. It's being sold to probably 15 to 20 foreign countries who want to buy and see a Leonard fight. That should be fairly lucrative. I would suggest to you that Ray will make several $1 million as a result of it, but I can't tell you until we finish counting, and we don't count till after the fight.
And his opponent will get...
His opponent will get the best payday he's ever had in his life, and it'll probably be something like anywhere from 5 to 10 times what he's ever made, and he's not unhappy, and he's tickled to death. He's getting prime-time money. Ray Leonard has always been fair to his opponents. I think, and without exception, if you went down and looked at every opponent Ray's fought within the last couple of years, they've made more money than they've ever made in their life fighting Ray Leonard. I've really never had an opponent squawk about it.
What are your chances of breaking even?
Actually, our chances are very good. When Bill Hanbury from the Chamber of Commerce came to us, told us that we were competing with St. Louis, Dallas, and I think it was Philadelphia for this fight. So we said we have to come in with a minimum package, which I talked to the mayor said, well, cooperate 100%. So we went to the board, Stadium Auditorium, and we came up with a minimum rental for the building for that night.
What's that?
Well, that'll be $3,000. Where we should make out is we'll be getting 30% of the concessions that night.
Who gets the other 70%?
That'll go to the Buffalo Sabres Sports Service.
Because they're the tenants here? Is that it?
Right.
They have the concessions?
They have the rights to concessions under their contract.
I'm looking forward to a dynamite fight. I feel great.
the Buffalo fans have gave me a great deal of respect and hospitality, and I'm just looking forward to showdown.
I noticed that you train with quite a bit of heat here, some 80-some degrees now. Wouldn't it have been better, say, like up in the woods with a nice, cool breeze?
No, preferably I like training in this type of conditions. You know, I don't believe in the traditional ways of fighters of the past, and I don't go in their traditional ways. I think that boxing today is an art, and it's a form of entertainment, and I like to give, you know, the kids and people the opportunity to see how clean boxing really is.
Is Roger Stafford a worthy opponent for you?
I hope not. I really hope not. I think that it'd be a lot easier on me, but you know, he deserves a title shot, and I'm quite sure he's going to be in the best of shape, because he would like to take the title from me, but it won't be that easy.
Is he a better opponent than Bruce Finch?
Well, that, I think Stafford would have to, you know, answer that question. Bruce Finch, I think that he was a worthy opponent, although he just happened to run into a few difficulties with me.
Like in the third round?
Like in the third round, yes. But, you know, a lot of the boxing critics say that the guy was not significant. I don't believe that. I think that Bruce Finch was a deserving opponent.
What kind of a style do you have that you use on Sugar Ray?
Well, like, I've watched Roger Stafford before. He tries to be a boxer counterpuncher. Basically, I'm a boxer counterpuncher. And by watching Roger, I try to pick up things that I think he would do against Ray. And so I try to do those things to Ray so he'll be ready for Roger.
I noticed really mix it up in there. The three sparring partners had in there, and it looked like it got pretty wild for a while. Does anybody ever really get mad?
Well, I can really speak for myself. I try not to get mad. I try to keep my head at all times, you know. Like, we're not mad at one another. We're not angry. We're here to help one another. And that's the thing. We have to get in there and do our best so Ray will be ready for the fight.
With Sugar Ray Leonard, you have an exceptional fighter, exceptional person. There's none other greater than Sugar Ray Leonard.
What caution must he take with Stafford?
Stepping in the ring. That's always a caution with any fighter. You know, you can, any given night, any fighter can be defeated. So that's why we prepare and train so hard for a fight. Stafford would be just like any other opponent. We train just so hard for Stafford we would for Tommy Hearns or Roberto Duran. We'd be ready.
Now, you work with him, and then I believe Angelo Dundee comes in. What do? Do you get him ready and get all the rough stops out of the way, and then does he come in and fine-tune them? How does that work?
Well, we work as a team, but Angelo is Ray's manager. I am Sugar Ray Leonard's trainer. And so we still work as a team. We kind of go over what we have done before Angelo arrives.
And what does he do when he comes in? Does he run it?
We kind of talk over what we've been working on. Tell him everything, all the strategy that we worked on, you know. He's a master at what he does, and I consider my job as just as important as anyone else.
How does Sugar Ray compare with some of the other greats that you managed?
Well, they're all great. I mean, in their own right, they're all different type of individuals. But, you know, you're talking, when Sugar Ray, you're talking, this kid's going to be a legend also, because he has an approach to his greatness that he's going to get, because he's going to be better. See, what's good about this kid, he gets better each and every fight. And you'll see a different concept of Sugar Ray Leonard when he fights Stafford, because it takes a certain type of an individual to beat Roger Stafford. So now what Jenks and I are formatting is an idea of how to handle Roger Stafford. And this is something we're going to do.
In other words, Jenks more or less smooth out all the rough spots, got him near peak, and then what do you come in? Do you sort of fine-tune this lad?
It's teamwork. I mean, you know, we see what's there, and we figure out how to blend something to do a number on Roger Stafford. So all the thing in our brain is Roger Stafford. And the more people poo-poo Roger Stafford, the more serious we get, because you don't take nothing cheap. Cheap is dear in any kind of occupation, so you don't take any opponent cheap. Roger Stafford's a tough guy.
I noticed that when Sugar Ray worked out, he had it about 85 degrees in here. Would you be able to train under those conditions?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I'm somewhat the same way. I like to train in the heat, you know, because of the atmosphere, being in auditoriums, you know, and amongst all the crowd, you know, 20,000 some people. It's going to be very hot, and plus the smoking and that.
Does it bother you that Sugar Ray has been getting so much attention? It's almost like a showbiz atmosphere here.
Yes, it is. I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't bother me at all. Sugar Ray, as you know, he's a very popular guy. Olympic gold medalist, and he's done everything to boxing up until now. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm just, you know, another guy coming up the ladder, you know what I mean? And I was blessed, you know, to have the opportunity to fight Sugar Ray Leonard.
You don't see him as a legend?
Well, somewhat he could be a legend. Like I said, he's done everything in boxing. You know, he's won 3 different titles. And what can you say?
You made a pretty good showing of yourself against Cuevas.
Somewhat, yes. I am very happy that, you know, I won the bout the way I did. Because if it went 10 rounds and I didn't beat him the way I did, they would have took it.
You feel you're a worthy contender?
I feel that I'm a little contender.
Worthy.
Worthy contender, yes indeed.
I wouldn't say little, you believe me.
Very much so worthy.
Do you have a certain style that you fight that's beneficial to him?
Well, I'm a boxer puncher. That's what they had me for. I'm a little heavier. I'm a junior middleweight. And I'm a good puncher, and that's probably why they called me up for to box with Stafford.
You ever get hurt?
No, not really. I've been stunned, but never really hurt.
What's his best punch?
Roger, he punches with both hands. You got good left hook, right hand combination. Good puncher. What you have here is 2 technicians, 2 guys that really know the art. It's going to be an exciting fight. I look forward to go 15 rounds.
Do you see any weaknesses in Sugar Ray?
Well, everybody has a weakness, but you have to find it. So I looked at his films, and I think we know what we got to do, and he know what he has to do. So his weaknesses, we'll find them.
What kind of a fight can we expect next Friday night?
A terrific fight. You can believe it. He's in shape, and he's really dedicated, and he wants it bad. And when you see a fighter like that, and the way he's been training hard, he's really up for it.
How about a prediction and maybe a round?
It's going to be a surprise. And I can't name the round or what's going to happen, but Sugar Ray being for the fight of his life, I'm telling you right now. I know this.
Marshall Miles, the manager of probably the greatest fighter to ever step in the ring, Joe Louis. Mr. Miles, what kind of memories are coming back to you today?
Well, it goes back quite a few years. It's been, I say, 40, 50 years. So it's been quite a while since I've been close to it, but it's a pleasure to get back and see what's going on.
Tell me about your great fighter.
Well, my fighter's been dead now, a year and a half. But when he was fighting, I thought he was the greatest, especially as a heavyweight.
You are considered the Dean Emeritus of boxing reporting in Buffalo. How has the fight game changed since those golden days here?
Well, number one, we don't have the talent. In the old days, we had fighters in every division from flyweight, 112 pounds, to heavyweight, and good local fighters. And then, number two, we had the promoters, the real good, both amateur and professional promoters. And these promoters could bring in a national champion, such as Sugar Ray, and pit him against a local boy to make good box office. They needed the money, and that was the only way they could get it. If they didn't get it through fighting, there was very little other avenues open for them.
They were hungry.
They were hungry, right, in a word, right. They were hungry, and they fought, and they trained hard. And I believe that your fighters in those days were almost as good, if not as good. Your best fighters in those days were as good as your good fighters today, which I can't say about other sports. In every other sport, I feel that all the improved training methods and equipment and dedication and all has made today's athlete better than yesterday's athlete, but that doesn't apply, I don't think, too much in boxing.
How do you see this fight coming off?
Well, I think it should be a nice fight. It should be a good fight for about 5 or 6 rounds. That's about all I can give it.
And the winner?
Well, Sugar Ray, I'm sure.
I can't conceive of Leonard being beaten in any way and losing all that's ahead of him and all that's ahead for the promoters. All the there are still millions to be gleaned from Leonard in the way of a return bout with Hearns. Maybe if Hearns beats Hagler, or if Hearns doesn't beat Hagler, you'll fight Hearns again. Maybe anyway, you'll fight Pepino. I think Pepino will probably be next for Leonard. So I got to figure that there's no way Leonard can lose, let's put it that way.
Now, Stafford, what kind of a fight are you going to give him?
Well, I'll bring the fight to Stafford. I'll pressure him, work him over, slow him down, and stop him. I don't expect the fight to go over 10 rounds. And I just feel he's never fought anyone of my caliber, of my skill and my talent. Although that doesn't say too much. I think experience will be a factor outside of the psychological advantage of fighting in front of a huge crowd.
Okay, your prediction then, in what round?
Well, less than 10, no problem.
Sugar Ray Leonard's 147 pounds. He's not 6'9", 200 pounds. You know what I mean? Same size as I am, same weight. He's a man, just like I am.
I think he's going to bring the fight to you.
Good. That's exactly what I want him to do. Bring it to me. I want to see how long he's staying in front of me, bringing the fight to me.
Does he have any weaknesses that you can see?
Yes, he does. And his weakness is that he gets hit. That's the weakness.
And after Buffalo, where's the next battle? Any idea yet?
I'm not for sure where it'll be, but I know it'll be Sugar Ray Leonard and Roger Stafford, because I will be the new undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
You think that Buffalo will ever be another great fight town as it was?
No, because, as I say, when it was a great fight town, it was the only game in town, which is no longer applies. There's too many other people battling for that sports dollar now, too many other promoters looking for that sports dollar now, which you didn't have in the old days. But I still think that if someone somehow develops a young, top, charismatic fighter, say like Slats or somebody, Tommy Paul or somebody like that, or Rocky Kansas or Jimmy Goodrich, somebody like that, that you still can have a resurgence of boxing in this city. It will never be like it was.
I think the city's going to make money from people coming in here. I would hope that the people that come in, when they leave, they won't think of Buffalo as some city that's out in the Outer Banks somewhere. I mean, Buffalo is a heck of a town. I like it, and I'm not kidding. I'm not hyping it. It wouldn't matter whether I liked it or not. People are still going to buy tickets to see Ray Leonard. But I think it's a terrific city, and I think that people really miss the boat when they take events to the same old cities time and time again. I think the people here will genuinely appreciate the opportunity to see Ray Leonard up close and personal, if you will. And I think that they deserve the right to see him in person.
Sorry.